They say the human mind is an extremely curious one. We want answers to things that we know aren't good for us. Sometimes you hear about something that you can't help but look up. But what if there was something so vile out there that you never wanted it to see the light of day? What if even if you wanted to, it's not accessible to you? Or rather, it doesn't even exist. Media exists in all forms. And every day, the internet slowly loses that. Not only the internet, fires, explosions, tragedies, purposeful destruction of media. You get it. Things get lost. Media does as well. But something about lost media in specific not only captivates people, but it also tends to disturb them. Sometimes, however, there are pieces of lost media that deserve to stay lost. Regardless of people's curiosity, not all lost media should be found, because not all lost media should be viewed. There are countless pieces of documents, transcripts, footage, photos, film, etc., all locked behind a safe, burned into rubble, or hidden beneath the dead web. And sometimes it's because the media is as something vicious as a murder, or even sometimes even something much, much worse. Sometimes you don't want to find what is lost. Sometimes it should stay lost. Of course, doing research for this video, I came across a lot of upsetting things, especially when we get to our last segment. So, I'll try to keep this first segment here much lighter, and I will make it very clear right now. It is quite light in comparison to the later half. The first segment isn't something I'd inherently want to keep lost because I'm curious about it. I just really wanted to include it in here because I just find it so intriguing. But of course, I must say that after that, starting from the second entry forward, massive trigger warnings, keeping up to theme with the video. This is the lost media you don't want to find. Lost media can mean anything, and I mean anything. That means that even adult media can be lost, whether it be to time, lawsuits, or copyright issues. Even adult media can be lost. One that is so peculiar and also seemingly controversial is a film simply titled Him. Him is a gay pornographic film from 1974 that garnered massive attention in the 1980s due to a mention of the film in the book, The Golden Turkey Awards. It won an award for Most Unironic Concept in pornography. The movie all but encompasses the true absurdity of porno and the industry. To me, it is simply funny to hear that this exists, or rather it existed. To others, it was all but offensive. To each their own. I feel that was probably the point, if I'm going to be honest with you. You may be wondering to yourself a few things. One, what was this movie really even about? And two, why were people so offended? I can answer both those questions in one sentence. Him is a 1974 gay pornographic film depicting the life of Jesus Christ. That's all you need to know. It is a gay porno about Jesus. Not many have seen this film. As you know, it was quite taboo back then to be openly gay. Sadly, most would probably be ruined if seen around or near the venue it premiered at. Here's what some of the promo for the film looked like. It was shown at the 55th Street Playhouse in New York from March 27th to May 23rd, 1974. It returned to the Playhouse on December 6th, 1974, and January 6th, 1976. The film was thought to be a hoax due to the book, The Golden Turkey, claiming one film that was written about didn't even exist. It was thought Him was that fake film. However, it was revealed the fake film was actually Dog of Norway. The film was also shown at the Bijou Theater in Chicago, the Sansom Cinema in Philadelphia, the Nob Hill Theater in San Francisco, the Gay Prairie Theater in Atlanta, the Woodstock One in Highland Park, and the David Theater in New York, the Pat House Second Theater in Pittsburgh, and the Adonis Theater in New York. There have been no showings since, and no footage has ever surfaced. It's safe to say the film existed, but considering how shoddy the porno industry was back then, specifically in the gay porno industry, it's hard to tell if this will ever see the light of day. This one will be lost to time, and more than likely has been destroyed. Many films, even cheaper ones, did not have as big of a budget as the big-name companies. If they didn't make or break in the box office from one weekend, that was it for the movie. Destroyed or recorded over. The reels lost to time. More than likely, this is what happened to him. Possibly one of the more controversial pieces of adult media. Completely lost to time. This is a piece of media I feel like will never be refound or discovered. That's why it's been shelved on the Lost Media Wiki. There's not much else to say about this movie. It's a gay pornography depicting the life of Jesus Christ, and it was lost. A handful of people have only seen this movie, and there's a lot of weird information out there you can find about the creator of this film and the actors involved. Most of them are now dead. All I can really say is that this film, to me, is very intriguing. If I were given the chance to be able to watch this film, I would probably give it a shot and just see what it has, because it's just got this legend around it. It's a very bizarre one. I don't think there's anything out there like it. It's just so weird to say. It's like the Passion of the Christ, but like a gay porno version of that. It's really weird to think about that existed. I think it's funny, in one way, but it's also a piece of film cinema if you think about it, and that's crazy that it's lost to time. So personally, as I said, this first segment is light, so I don't see this being that crazy. And unlike the other entries on this list, I wouldn't mind if this surfaced, but I don't think it ever will. Yellowstone National Park is a treasure to many Americans. I personally find parks to be beautiful. I live in Oregon myself, and the scenery is always so breathtaking. I find nature to be so relaxing, but I myself realize that nature can also be very, very dangerous. I try to keep my distance from wild animals as much as I love them. I know you cannot mess with nature, as that is not what was intended. The arrogance of man is thinking that nature is in their control, and not the other way around.
I choose to not understand these signs. Aha!
Bender, I was just not playing the Hall of Honor.
Yeah, we should try not stinking at it.
On June 7th, 2016, a psychology graduate by the name of Colin Scott would venture to Yellowstone National Park, accompanied by his sister, Sable Scott. There they had the intention of doing an act known as hot potting within one of Yellowstone's thermal pools. Hot putting is an act of soaking in the park's superheated thermal springs. It is very, very illegal. The thing is, most of Yellowstone springs are considered acid baths, baths that can reach to an astounding 205 degrees Fahrenheit, enough to make your skin peel off and make you go blind. The act of hot potting is not only stupid, but very dangerous. June 7, 2016 would be the last day Colin's sister saw him alive, because that was the day Colin fell right into a hot spring within the Norris Geyser Basin. This not only ended his life, but completely dissolved his entire body. Throughout Colin and Sable's adventures, Sable was recording the entire journey, including her brother's death. The very moment he fell into that spring, that was when his fate was sealed. Scott graduated from Pacific University. He decided to visit his sister and travel from Portland, Oregon. They decided to take the day trip to Yellowstone and park not too far from the said Norris Geyser Basin. Without any supervision, both of them broke many rules at the park. Obviously, it is not safe to jump into these hot springs. They are dubbed acid baths for a reason. But for some odd reason, they didn't know any better. The video itself is considered lost media. It has never surfaced and has only been used within law enforcement. To respect Colin, the video has been kept to the family only. Sable recorded the entire ordeal. The transcription of the video has been censored, but it is known the pair intentionally walked off the board, and as Scott was checking the temperature, he proceeded to slip and fall into the hot spring. His sister attempted to rescue him, but of course to no avail. When officials reached the spring, they found remains of Scott's head, upper torso, and hands. However, they were never able to recover the remains. The spring was at a whopping 212 Fahrenheit, and a lightning storm was brewing. His family stated that Scott was a dedicated Christian whose love for people stemmed from the love he felt from God. A tragic story and a tragic event, and a stark reminder as to why sometimes these things deserve to be kept away. There are so many things that we never see that could happen to people and have yet to see. But I feel that's for the best, because sometimes there are some very atrocious pieces of content out there that deserve to be lost, and I feel this one needs to be kept lost. Regardless of curiosity and regardless of the cat, another example of lost media you just don't want to find.
In America, gun violence is at an all-time high. The culture around guns and gun violence has become so desensitized that a school shooting can be shrugged off as a mere joke. Just another casual, tragic event that just happens. To many, it is what it is. It's a disgusting approach to an overarching issue in this country, but I digress. Politics is not the point here. School shootings are a horrendous atrocity that hurt many people annually.
Now, in America, you have the Sandy Hook massacre where little tiny children died, and your government went, maybe we'll get rid of the big guns?
The first of many. On April 20th, 1999, Columbine High School would be a victim to one of these massacres. Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold would end the lives of over 15 people, two of those people being themselves, many, many more injured. The Columbine High School massacre is a well-known one, going down in infamy as one of the first catalysts to decades of gun violence and torment across American schools nationwide. In December 1999, Times Magazine's Tim Roche was given 5 tapes recorded by the murderers that investigators discovered. Roche would make an article for Times Magazine on December 20th, 1999. After seeing the tapes, he would dub them the basement tapes. Many family members of the deceased were furious at the Jefferson County Police, considering the families that were mourning never got access to these tapes. They threatened to sue the county over this major mistake. The county would screen the tapes for the families and then put the tapes in a vault indefinitely. In 2003, a 15-minute recording of the killer's shooting at the Rampart Range was released. In 2004, a short film the two had created for school 5 months prior to the massacre titled Hitmen for Hire would surface, both of which many people suspected to have been 2 of the infamous basement tapes. Jefferson County Sheriff Ted Mink was told by the court he was allowed to release the remaining footage, should he desire. But of course he declined in fear of troubled youth becoming inspired by the tapes. He would, however, release in-depth transcripts of all of the basement tapes, confirming the rumors about the previously released footage. The families of the deceased, who viewed all of the footage in its entirety, said it came up to roughly 3 to 4 hours in runtime. Since the 1999 screening, the unreleased tapes have never been seen by the public. I would love to analyze the transcripts, but this video would be too long for my taste or yours. There are many videos on the basement tapes out there if you're curious, but reading the transcripts more or less beats the purpose of this video. This isn't something I would personally want to seek or find for myself. The tapes had every bit of evidence to show how planned of an atrocity it all was. The basement tapes will go down in history as one of the most profound insights into the minds of some of the most sickest individuals on this planet. Lost to time, never to be seen. Before going on the next entry, I want to say that my goal is to hit 100,000 subscribers before the end of 2024. We're very close to 1,000, and I'd really appreciate if you could hit that subscribe button, comment, and like. All these things just help me get into the algorithm. I'm not going to be shameless or plug myself too hard. I just want to be in the algorithm because my dream since I was a child is to have a community of people to create content for. That's it. I want to create content for you guys. So please, if you enjoy this content, support me. Because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. Also, if you have any suggestions for new videos, follow me on Instagram, right here. I'd really appreciate that. I shared teasers for this video on my Instagram months before this video has even released. So please check that out and follow me there. Also follow me on Twitter if you choose, but I really hate Twitter. Thank you for letting me spew some nonsense. I appreciate that. On with the video.
September 11, 2001 would be one of the most horrific days in American history. 4 coordinated terrorist strikes in the United States, all orchestrated by the Islamic terrorist group Al-Qaeda. 4 planes collided, 2 hitting the World Trade Center in New York City, 1 hitting the Pentagon, and 1 veering off course, where a group of Americans aboard said plane banded together to prevent further terror. That final plane would crash into an empty field in Pennsylvania, creating a crater in its wake. United 93 will never be forgotten. Don't you ever look at this and think, the amount of souls that must be trapped there, just forever longing to move on.
I'd love to see New York. We could all go with the bus company's special Super Sitter fare. $9? This one's on me.
Lives. So many lives. Lost. Lost for nothing. 2,977 people were killed in these attacks. Only 1 staircase remained usable past the 78th floor in the South Tower, and none beyond floor 91 in the North Tower. Hundreds survived the initial hit and became stranded on higher floors of structures. Many of those caught on the higher floors would eventually fall from the higher floors to the ground below. Up to 200 of these jumpers would fall from both towers. Many people recorded footage of the attacks, including photographs and videos of jumpers falling from said towers. Many of these recordings do not show the jumpers impacting the ground, making footage that does capture the moment they hit the ground extremely unusual or nearly hard to find. Around 2006, a video appeared on video sharing websites showing footage taken from the ground and around the towers. The video is named LOL Superman, or something along those lines. The video is supposed to be a shock video. Because of takedowns, the film has been lost to time, raising curiosity among those trying to find it or want to find it. In 2015, a 4chan member would post their experience with the video on the X Paranormal board. The video came from the early days of YouTube and showed graphic images of jumpers. The original channel responsible for the video was terminated. The video poster attempted unsuccessfully to locate the video again. When the video first appeared, the responses were overwhelmingly negative. Obviously. On July 30th, 2022, Reddit user The Sketchy Dude posted on the r/Lost Media forum, seeking more information about the video. Because of this post, the video and its search received more attention, increasing the desire to find it. Many Redditors came forward stating that they had watched the video and expressed interest in locating it again. According to a rumor, the video is hardly more than 2 minutes long and features shaky camera footage. The identities of those who recorded the footage remain unknown. It is thought that the film begins with the 2 cameramen ascending the steps of the plaza and then swiftly racing to one of the North Tower side. It is then claimed that, similar to the aforementioned 4chan thread, gruesome imagery of a single body or bodies falling down the pavement, as well as close-up shots of the corpses once they have landed, are shown before the cameramen leave the plaza. The video is most likely flagged heavily by a variety of video sharing websites throughout the years, so it had just gotten more difficult to find over time. In recent years, the other pieces of evidence that have been posted claiming to be screenshots from the video, these have all been proven to be fraudulent, untrue. Over time, there's even a possibility that the video did not exist at all, although this was still not proven. YouTuber Blame It on Jorge conducted an interview with the moderator from the 9/11 archive. They expressed uncertainty about the video's existence. The argument was based on the video's unclear descriptions, and the fact that there are many jumper shock videos on YouTube that are easily misremembered. An attempt was made to contact the FBI over the footage, but it was declined. Their response was that it was being utilized as evidence in an ongoing criminal prosecution, most likely that of Khalid Shika Mohammed, who is one of the remaining individuals responsible for the incident and is currently imprisoned. This confirmed to some that perhaps Lol Superman existed, as they acknowledge his existence. This means that the footage is most likely lost forever, as it is unlikely to ever surface anytime soon if it is stored by the government. There's currently no confirmed footage of Lol Superman. The video might most likely be in an FBI archive. There's no proof that LOL Superman exists or does not exist. There's no evidence that the video the FBI has is LOL Superman, as it all might just be a coincidence whether LOL Superman is in the FBI's hands or not. A user created a possible path the cameraman took in the video to help aid in the search. Personally, I don't want to find this, and neither should you. But it's really interesting to see, so I'll show you this. But please, don't go lose sleep over this. You're never going to find this video. I don't believe it to be a myth, but I really don't think it will ever surface again. And I don't think it has to. There's so much stuff on 9/11 out there, and a lot of it is missing, yes, and there's a lot of mysteries to it. But when it comes to the shock video side of it, I think we've seen enough.
Horror games are a commodity for many online. YouTubers in the early 2010s made it big with this genre, creating videos to entertain others. A new game would come out, a YouTuber would play it. If the developer is lucky, it would be huge.
On June 25th, 2015, the YouTube channel Obscure Horror Corner posted a series of videos demonstrating a game only known as Sad Satan. The first video, Sad Satan Deep Web Horror Game Part 1, soon gained popularity. The gameplay was deceptively simple, with no jump scares or sophisticated mechanics, just wandering along a seemingly infinite hallway. There was nothing to attack, there was no way to defend yourself or really do anything, at least on the surface. Nothing. Occasionally, though, strange pictures would flash across the screen, adding to this ominous mood. Nothing could hurt you. You couldn't die. All you could do was walk. The game's notoriety is mostly known for the fact that there was no true original copy. The game was created using the Terror engine. If you were unlucky, you probably gave yourself a Trojan downloading the game. The game was tame on the Obscure Horror Corner, but it was said that other copies did include pictures of gore flashing on the screen. It wasn't until Mudahar made a video on the game, finding a copy on the deep web. It was then he would show how uneasy he was and get genuinely sick playing the game.
Turn back while you can. Let's go see what's down this area. What the fuck is that? Alright, I'm gonna blur this shit out for you guys while you're watching this. But there is no screamer that was given. What actually is the image, though, is it is of a child, I think, or somebody young, with their head complete. What the fuck? Maybe I should fucking turn back and just walk this way. Fuck that job, dude. Not getting chased. We go this way. It's like these big subwoofers on the side now, too. That's really fucking weird. All right, now. All right. That was an image of a person who lost their fucking head. All right. I may be quiet while I'm in here, but the game offers no audio. Keep going. Oh, God. I don't know if this is like a faked version of a real one, but it's fucking weird. There's no like screamers or anything. I mean, there's screamer pictures like gore, which I'm gonna fucking block out for you guys because I can't post that shit on YouTube. Wait, what's this? Door's locked. Okay. All right. But fuck. It's a guy with his head hacked off. It's a girl, sorry, with that head, with her head completely hacked off with a fucking machete. Although it looks like it. What was that? NSPCC is great. Okay. Picked up a key. That's the key for the door.
Before I continue, I just want to add a really funny, fucked up note. So as you know, the NSPCC is the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. The image that popped up on the end of that gameplay I was showing you in a little sneak peek of Mudahar's video is two people. I believe Margaret Thatcher and Jimmy Savile. Jimmy Savile's on the left. Now, it was revealed in documents much later that Jimmy Savile is a major predator, which is just insane because look at what he's holding, saying that the Society to Protect Children is great cruelty to children, yet he's predator. So the imagery is just very intentional and more disgusting to think about because it's trying to send a message. A lot of the images here are real pedophiles. It's horrible. What was very concerning about the whole scenario, however, was that the images flashing on Mudar's copy of the game were much worse than gore. Those images of known child predators, and between those images of Obscure Horror Corner would upload multiple episodes, a 5-part series for Sad Satan, and then out of nowhere removing part 5 entirely, leaving only 4 parts available on YouTube to this day. The copy Obscure Horror Corner played was speculated and is now agreed on to be created by them. Without a doubt in my mind, they were more than likely trying to create an ARG. It's quite sad when you think about this considering what was about to unfold. A harmless ARG becomes much, much worse. On July 7th, Kotaku interviewed the Obscure Horror Corner, who was finally identified as simply Jamie. I could not find this interview, but it said on Wikipedia that this interview was actually updated with a statement. Jamie deliberately misdirected people from downloading the game because of graphic content that was not present on his YouTube uploads. The graphic content on the other copies of the game were much worse than just gore. Just like the copy Mudahar uncovered, it was unflashed. Only 18 minutes later, a supposed download link to Sad Satan was posted on a 4chan board that was centered on the paranormal. When looking through the file contents of the game, users were disgusted to discover pictures of mutilated corpses, and the people who ran the game received hefty amounts of malware. These copies that were completely unrelated to the Obscure Horror Corner would be dubbed the clones. A user would re-upload the copy of the game, clean all of the obscene material and malware, and make a subreddit. It just doesn't stop there, though. We talked about a post being made earlier on the 4chan board. Turns out that was by a user only known as ZK. He was supposedly from the deep web. He acted like this big know-it-all guy, showing off this scary game he had, but it turns out he was actually just a fat loser who was a huge fucking pedophile. There was nothing high and mighty or cool about ZK in any way, shape, or form. This person jumped on the train to receive some internet clout and didn't even get anything from it but some horrible human being. Originally, it was theorized that Jamie was ZK and that Jamie was stopping people from going through the game because he was scared to get caught when he realized that, hey, this is blowing up. That's why Jamie disappeared. The Obscure Horror Corner hasn't uploaded video in like 9 years. But the reality of the situation is I don't think Jamie was really the culprit here. Now, the next person I'm going to talk about, I don't really know if it's connected. No one really gives me good evidence as to why it's connected. but it's something to think about and look into. Gary Graves. Gary Graves was a convicted pedophile with charges against him for... It was an entirely unrelated case. However, many people online for some reason point him as the individual simply known as ZK. I can't find a single piece of evidence to support this case at all, so I feel like people are just crazy, but I don't know. Sad Satan has a notoriety like no other online, but not many people still talk about it to this day. For good reason, though. It's not something that many should really dwell on because you don't want to give attention to these kind of people. Sad Satan is well known for more than its eerie gameplay. The real horror was in its origins. Only an extremely sick individual would release something like that to the world. There's nothing to be found here. This is lost media, but it is not lost media that wants to be found, deserves to be found, or should be found. This piece of content, this media, if you even want to call it that, this game that exists out there is still out there. Those files are still out there. Someone has this copy on their computer, and it is disgusting. There are many copies of Sad Satan, safe ones you can download to this day, even a remake on Steam coming out. But those are much more tame in comparison to what ZK and many people on deep web forums and even online shared for a point in time. The FBI definitely got involved. There's just no way they didn't. I mean, this is such a disgusting situation, such a disgusting case. Hey, I'm really glad you made it to the end of this video. Man, I'm so tired. But yeah, I was writing this video for a while. This video is way longer than I thought it would be, so that was nice. But the crunch is real. I think I've pretty much made my deep rock iceberg quality video. I've hit that benchmark again, probably higher. This is probably better, but yeah, I really appreciate it again for 700 subscribers. Try to get 1,000. I had a good time making this video, and I got more to come. Like I said, Instagram, check me out there. It'll really help me, if you can give me ideas. And then also just leave a comment, subscribe, like, do whatever you can, and just, say hi. Because that's something I'd really appreciate. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching. This video was really fun to make. I wouldn't say it's the best video in the world. There's some topics like the basement tapes I feel like were, already pretty popular. But, hey, it was worth a shot. And I wanted to make something before my term starts. Commentary videos are going to come back. Big videos are going to come back soon. Volume 2 for Disturbing Things soon. But this is the big video. So we're going to take a little break from big videos for a bit. And just do some short ones. But like I said, follow me on Instagram, subscribe, like, and have a good day. And remember, as always, like I say this, be good people.